The reason for entering earlier, and let me say, we're taking the fourth trade, meaning we've already taken it and entered the trade. Look, at this level, we saw weakness in continuation, and that was our confirmation to enter a buy position. Of course, beginners, meaning those who have just started to get the hang of things. Beginners aren't the ones who are already learning, but those who have just started to make a bit of profit. Beginners should have just entered here, but as soon as I saw the rejection, as soon as I noticed the weakness in continuation, I made my optimal entry with the wick. You really need at least 2, 3, or even 4 years of experience in the market, then you're allowed to make an entry like this. Why? For a more optimal entry, your stop loss gets smaller. Look, even the distance to the stop loss is much less now. But to be on the safe side in your first years, you need to wait. Let your entry zone fill up too. Your entry zone would be here. Now you're just entering the trade, right on this candle that's actively moving in the market, and I've explained the reasons. As I said, we have a good bullish extension step here. We had a drop, even though this drop was quite strong, but since here it showed us an inability to continue and we're seeing seller exhaustion. With every step forward, we see it's increased even more. We entered the market. Okay, let's see what happens. Don't start your chart from the very beginning. Watch it fully to see how it behaves in the market as things unfold. Our entry was here, and if it goes just a bit higher, this spot becomes a level where you could exit. I'll pause the video now and let it reach that level. Alright, the price fluctuated a bit, and eventually it reached that level. Now we can manage our risk, set our stop loss at the entry point and stay in the position with peace of mind. I've always told you in the lessons, folks, that your exits should have just as much reason as your entries. Stay calm, okay. You shouldn't just exit for no reason. When the price is moving up nicely, only exit when you actually get a signal to do so. Why rush it? Let your profits run as much as possible. I'll move my stop loss up a bit more into my profit zone, and the price keeps going like this. It keeps moving upwards on its own. Alright, here it's forming a level for us. If it forms a good level, we'll set our stop loss just behind this level. If the price keeps going up, the stop loss moves there and we get into a bigger profit zone. Right now, this is our entry point, and our stop loss is here. If a level forms here, the stop loss moves behind it. This is always how we act, guys. We have to move forward step by step with the price. We can't get ahead of the price and try to predict what's going to happen or what kind of behavior it'll show there. Remember, I mentioned this in the previous video as well. We don't make predictions. We make trading decisions in the moment, based on whatever happens. Alright, it formed its level like this. Our stop loss is pretty much just behind these wicks, maybe just a little bit higher. And now, this candle that's forming, it's probably coming up like this. You see, this move is a bit sluggish, and if this one also wants to go up sluggishly, I'll close the position at this level. But if it wants to go up sharply and with strength, I'll hold onto it. So, if it's trying to reach the opposite level, I've always taught you how it does that. I've said that whenever the price starts moving from a level, it makes its way to the opposite level. But there are some conditions, and I've already explained those conditions to you. One of them is when it does an opposite extension correction. For those of you who know what extension correction is, have you worked on behavior analysis? If it does an opposite extension correction, then the price won't reach the opposite level. But let's see. I've set a TP here because there's a bit of excitement in this spot. The price acts in such a way that if it reaches that point, it gets you out of the position, and TP is useful for situations like this, folks. Otherwise, setting a TP isn't really the right thing to do. You need to move along with the price, and whenever it gives you a signal, you should exit the position. But when there's excitement and the price is moving so much, setting a TP is a good idea. Who else is TP good for? For people who take a little profit and get out quickly, those people should also set a TP when they step away from the system. Alright, if this candle closes above, which it most likely did, I'll move my stop loss behind this red candle and set it here. Now, either that one gets hit or this one, either way, I'm in profit. If this one gets hit, it's more profit. If the other one does, I'll get out of the position with a bit less profit, but my mind will be at ease. How much profit is this trade in? 8, 2, $1, $2. C, with TP, we can secure even a little bit of profit. Let's also consider a lower level for risk-averse people, because when we pick a level, not everyone exits exactly at that level. Some might exit a little lower, some might exit a little higher. Risk-tolerant people. They set their TP higher, for example at the tip of the wick or even higher, while risk-averse people set their TP lower. That's why, even if we give all traders the exact same point, not all of them will exit at that point. That's why we set a level and take the sum of the numbers. Why? Because there are different people. Are there different people in the market? Like I said, now there are risk takers and risk-averse people, and those who want different things from it. People who have their system set there, aren't at the chart at that moment, so by the time they get there, the price has already moved up a bit. Or it's come down lower. So that's why we define levels and don't specify exact numbers. If it had moved up more strongly, it wouldn't have left such a long shadow, and it wouldn't have shown us the strength of the sellers. We could have stayed in the position longer, but the sellers came in stronger than the buyers, overpowering the buyers' upward move. Guys, I set my stop loss just below this shadow, so if you don't want to, if the price drops right there, at least you've secured a bit more profit. But since this candle closed higher, the chances of hitting the take profit are much greater. Still, let's see how it behaves. There's a lot of selling pressure at that upper point. It hit our take profit and reached the level. It got there on its own, the position was a good one. We went through the training. We saw together how the price started moving from one side and went all the way to the other.